to African Teapot Podcast. My name is Exie and I'm your host. Journey with me through Africa's vast variety of culture, heritage, and discuss issues most African families face, both home and abroad. Make sure you add this podcast to your frequent podcast rotations, and don't forget to share and follow this podcast. Hello guys, and thank you for tuning back into African Teapot Podcast. And today we have a very interesting topic. Today's topic is understanding single parenthood. And since the topic is this broad and big, I thought I should do it with somebody. So that person is going to say hi.
Hello, listeners. It's me again.
And that's Winnie. If you saw on our social platforms, I did put out there that I was going to be doing this with my homegirl, Winnie. Yep. And also with the help of some of our, I would say, dedicated listeners that decided to share their story about single parenthood, their experiences dating a single parent and also being a single parent who is trying to date, right? Mm-hmm. So we thought to do it justice, we gathered around some questions and some ideas and answers from different people that we spoke to, right?
And some statistics too. So.
Right, because we wanted to do this right. We didn't want it to be like we're guessing or anything like that. So the first question, Winnie, I would say is, what is single parenthood in our African community, you think?
Ooh.
It's big.
It's big, yeah.
And guys, if you hear squeaking, that's how it's and some slurping,
right?
Because we're drinking
we're just
something.
Excited, exactly.
Yeah, we're excited about the topic.
Yeah, we're doing it on the kitchen table.
Yeah, just in case
chilling.
You hear that.
From an African perspective, if I hear like a single parenthood, I'm like, okay, are you a widow? Were you not married before?
Right.
Like that's what comes in my head without thinking the other.
Yeah, in layman's understanding means that you have one parent raising a child or children, right?
Yes.
That's what single parent is in our community, right?
Yes.
Sometimes I don't even think like Africans, when they say single parent, I'm sorry, when you speak, especially to the older generation, when you ask them, they don't necessarily look at the circumstances. They just think single parent, immediately they're thinking of a girl who has a kid without marriage. Or outside marriage. That's where the thinking stops.
Yes.
That's what I realized.
Yeah, and I don't think they're also kind of like too harsh.
You mean what? The parents?
Yeah,
to
like
the single parent, or you mean the community?
The community is not. It's not like kind of like too harsh. You say, "Oh, I'm a single parent."
Maybe now,
but now, now yes.
Well, as things go on, people. I mean, more information flow. So people are a bit more accepting to the idea. That's what I'm saying. When you speak to an older generation, because when I ask this question to an auntie or uncle, you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When I say single parent, where their minds went to first was a young girl who is not married, who has a kid.
Yep.
That was where it ended. It's when I started explaining a little bit further, because they're like, oh, I guess other circumstances can lead somebody to be a single parent. But anyways, before we get that, some facts, just so that you guys understand, we actually did some research on this. There is a Gallup World Poll data online. This was done in between 2014 and 2018. I think Steve Cabri and Sophia Clutch had an article on there also on newsgallup.com. And when I looked at it, I realized that they did their findings, and the data showed that Sub-Saharan Africa has the highest percentage of single moms.
Oh, wow.
In the world, Winnie, at 32%. And then the Middle East Africa has it at 15%, and 84% is women between the ages of 18 and 60 have a child below 15 years they're taking care of. So let me explain this so we understand it. In African setting, sometimes grandmothers and godmothers, aunties are raising children that are not theirs, but they come from single parents.
Single parents, yeah.
So maybe you have a kid, they want you to go back to school and things like that. So they are raising those
Their
kids.
grandkids,
Yeah, so this study included that. So that's why the age gap is between 18 to 60. Because you would say that and someone would be like, wait, a 60-year-old has a kid? But it's not literally that they are having the kid, but they are raising a child that both parents are absent at the time, or one parent is absent, or both are incapable of raising the kid. But that is the statistics that I realized. So you can go check it out on news.gallup.com. We're going to include links to all the articles and websites that we looked this up at. And then there is also looking at it, I realized that there is a likelihood of a single mother in Africa before the age of 45. Like, the numbers are staggering. So it's like, when I looked at it, Zimbabwe came in the highest with 68.8%. Tanzania came in with 51.7%. Malawi came in with 61%. Kenya was 59.5%, and Ethiopia was 30%.
Okay.
So these were the top 5. We don't mean this is, but the top 5. That means by the age of 45, the likelihood of being a single
parent
mother is very, very high in these countries.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And if you also go to www.researchgate.net, 22% of women between the ages of 20 to 49 in Africa were unmarried mothers. You see, so even that means they might be cohabiting.
Yeah.
You see, so you might be living with a lover, but you're not married.
Yeah.
And this research was mostly done to determine the consequences of single parenthood in Africa, and the data was also obtained from the demographic and health surveys in Africa.
Interesting.
But I also thought that maybe the numbers are very high in Africa, because if you think about it, we are the second most populated
country. True.
So more than half a billion people. I mean, think about it. The numbers should be high.
Then all the tribes and all that stuff. That's a lot.
The numbers should be high. But I never actually thought of us first when they thought of single mothers. I never really thought of that.
I think now also with the society, like you say, our old grandparents, and now it's like it's a norm. It's okay to be a single parent.
It's almost becoming culture.
Yeah. It's like they won't look at you like, like before you're like, you better go to school and not have kids when you're still 18 or you're in high school. But now...
Yep. So in Africa, those are the numbers, guys. It seems you had some numbers too.
Yeah, so this is actually in the US. So I searched, what race has the most single mothers? Guess the shocking thing. 42% are white, 28% are black, and then compared to 55% of cohabiting parents who are white, and 13% are black.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually thought it was the other way around, but
that's because sometimes maybe they are looking, because if you look at circumstances, which we are going to go to in a minute, circumstances that lead to single parenthood, then maybe those numbers make sense. Because I think fathers completely being absent from kids' lives, I think that's within the black community.
Black community, that's true.
Like the father is just completely absent. So I think that might also be triggering the numbers.
Yeah, and then another site that I found, which is from www.actorchester.org, about single parent families by race and ethnicity. So between 2015 and 2019, the shared family headed by single parents was 75% among African American families, followed by 59% who were Hispanic families, and then 38% were white families, and then lastly Asian came at 20%. So that was also like another shocking thing for me, like, wow. So this is like by race and ethnicity. So,
and this is just to tell you guys, it's not like this thing is just something that happens in America, because we live here, so you hear about it a lot.
Yeah.
And because you're black, you will hear about the black community a lot and everything. It's almost like other people don't experience this.
Yeah. So we went through all the races.
Yeah, we did. And it's good that you did that research so that we should compare it, and we should understand that these things happen across the border.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not one country or one. This just only happens in America. No, even Africa. Those numbers. Kenya.
I didn't.
Zimbabwe? I'm like,
Zimbabwe? Sister girl.
I'm like, wait a minute, Zimbabwe. Y'all are busy, okay?
But anyways, yeah, we just thought you guys should get that back research on it before we jumpstart.
At least some background, before we start.
Before we jumpstart anything. So I know you guys are itchy. Let's get into, let's actually share the story of Thelma. Thelma is from Ghana. So we're going to go ahead and share her story. So you guys, I'm going to read her email out to you, the letter she wrote us, and then we can get into breaking down what people think about, the letter and all of that good stuff, right? Okay. Hello, Exie. My name is Thelma from Ghana. I am a single mother to a beautiful 2-year-old girl. I met the father of my baby 6 years ago in Accra during our university days. After graduation, I got pregnant and he got a job as a banker. I tried getting a job, but with a complicated pregnancy, I was advised by doctors to rest throughout most of my pregnancy. His mom would always visit and would love to say I am lazy and spending money I did not work for. My family always pushed for us to do some sort of formal occasion to signify our union, but he would always tell me that would take place after the birth of our baby. After the birth, issues of my family tree and tribe came up. His family said they don't know me well enough to marry me into their own family. He was very weak in standing for me and our daughter. He would complain all the time of pressure to marry me. Suddenly, he started drinking and staying out for days. I finally realized when he did not return for a month that he really doesn't care. And with investigations, I heard he had gotten a new place to live. I was left homeless with our child. I reached out to his mom, but she said he is headstrong and will not listen to her. I moved back in with my family, got a teaching job after I had to do a little certification. As the years went on, I met someone who had shown my family and I love, especially to my child. Now my family is insisting that I should fix things with my baby daddy because he is the father to my child and will put my kid first. But my daughter knows and loves my new partner. He is ready to be with us and to do the needful, which is getting married and providing stability. The father to my kid now has a kid with another lady and is saying he doesn't love her, but wants the life he had with me and my daughter. I am worried about this because my family is supporting him and his family suddenly can now push for our union after he has lost his job, and they are now saying that I was the best thing that happened to him. I am looking for a long-term environment for my child over what is right by my parents or his parents. I find it hard to explain and make my family understand that he can be part of my child's life and part of me as well, but not my husband, because the life I had with him was toxic and I can't choose that over what I have right now. I would love for you guys to listen to my story and let me know what you think, because I think I'm doing the right thing and I want young girls out there to understand that finding someone after you have a child with somebody else and making it work takes a lot of work, takes a lot of mutual respect. And it is very, very difficult to tell someone to give all of that up for something that they are not quite sure would work. Again, I am a big fan of your show and hope to hear from you and the African Teapot family. Now that you've listened to it, Winnie, initial thoughts?
I was rolling my eyes like, homegirl? No. I don't know, because to me it's like, I feel like pregnancy is such a delicate state for every woman, regardless of whether you're single, married,
Right.
you're gay, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I'm like, that's the moment that I think every woman, you need somebody to be around you,
Especially the partner.
the partner. So I'm like, we were both in college, you got a job to be a banker, and then now when I needed you most, your family is like, oh no, we don't know you like that. Okay, but you know me to give me a child, but your family, so you don't know me to marry me?
I guess.
I'm like, that's a double standard right there.
And knowing our culture, is very difficult for her to be living together with him, and they're pregnant, and the family is still saying they don't know her.
They know, yeah.
Knowing how our culture is, they know.
They know her. I'm like,
they just don't think you're worthy to marry
him.
Right.
Yes,
They
yeah.
just don't
They
think
would have
you're
just
worthy.
come out and said, hey, we just don't feel like you and our son
And
won't fit.
he should have said something. I mean, leaving your family for a month, and you know you're the breadwinner, and you know that you have a kid, even if you're not married to the mom.
And then the worst thing is she was pregnant and homeless. Dude, are you serious right
No,
now?
at that point, I think she said she already had the kid.
But then,
And then he
it was
left.
a complication. She had complications.
No, she was pregnant, had the complications through the pregnancy, then gave birth, because he told her that they are going to get married. Remember, she said her family wanted him to do something formal. They are going to get married after the birth. But after the birth, then that's when his family said, oh, well, we don't know you too good to marry you into our family. Guys listening, if you're not African, you understand. In Africa, you marry families. You just don't marry the
Especially
individual.
if you pregnant a girl, it's your responsibility.
Yeah. So here it's like two people just deal with their business. For us, a family needs to accept you, because a family goes to marry a wife. That's how most African cultures it is.
Yep.
So when his family refused, or gave that reason, then he started complaining, started drinking. I mean, I don't need to explain the story. You guys heard it. But what we are saying pretty much is that the moment she moved on and his life got messed up,
Right.
then now I feel like they're using the kid as blackmail. It's like you're telling her, oh, because he's the father of your kid, you need to do for better, for worse. But I can't be doing for better, for worse when I'm not married to somebody. He didn't do better for worse when she was pregnant.
Exactly. And then when she had to go back and live with her parents, try to look
Why
for a job.
why wasn't there a
Where
worse
was this
moment?
guy? Exactly. And
They said he was headstrong.
Exactly. And you went and met somebody else, and you
you-
have a child.
Child.
Oh, and then now, oh, wait a minute. I don't like this. I don't like that person. Now I want you. Boy.
Exactly. That's
No.
what we're saying. So here we have 3 single parents. Guys, listen. The girl is a single mother. The guy is a single father to 2 children.
Right.
And then the other girl that he's gotten pregnant is also a single mother.
Exactly.
Do you see how this
The
dynamic
cycle is
was?
just going.
And now he doesn't want the old girl. I mean, the new one. Now you want to go back to the
old
girl
flame.
just because she's moving on. Like, guys, come on.
I don't know why men do this too. I'm sorry for saying this.
It's not all men, guys.
Yeah,
we
I'm
just mean the
saying
guys
some.
who do it.
Yeah, there's some guys who, I don't know, it's like they smell like, okay, I'm not going to deal with all your, shenanigans. Boom. I want to come back.
Yeah.
No.
The moment you're trying to move on.
No,
Real
dude,
doing.
you don't do that.
And then
No.
they say, well, you brought the best out of him. You
Right.
see?
But so y'all didn't see that
then,
when I was pregnant?
And then to her, that's her question. Her dilemma is, to them, they see that she was the best thing that happened to him. But I see it like, to her, he's not. He's not the best thing that happened to her, but she's being expected to marry him because according to his own life, she was the best thing that happened to him. So at the end of the day, it's not about the kid, it's about him.
Exactly.
You see, she was the best version. He was the best version with her.
True. And my thing is, if you didn't hold me down at my lowest, why would I want to hold you down when now, so now things don't go right for you. Now you're trying to look for some salvation.
If he still,
that's
she
to
still
me,
loved
that
him.
to me, that's an emotional blackmail.
Yeah, and you're using the kid. I'm
And
sorry.
they're using the kid. I'm sorry. Thelma, if you're listening to this, if I were you, I would move on with the new guy and just start off a fresh leaf.
Yeah, and I think if your family supported the new partner you have, and he's great to your child, because I think a mother always worries about your children. The person that, who you're introducing, are they going to treat them nice? If your family was accepting of him and everything, that means he's nice. And from everything, that's what you're saying. And that's, you've chosen to be with this person. Doesn't mean you need to know. Doesn't mean that he wouldn't have his issues.
Right.
Because he's going to have his issues. But I think some way, shape, or form, she has to make peace, or not peace, put things in order, so that when the other guy is coming, you won't have a lot of drama.
Leave the past was the past, exactly.
Yeah, you won't have a lot of drama.
I'm sorry to say baggage, but it's like leave that baggage behind and look ahead. Like, okay, what's on the other side of,
Yes, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I would not.
You're doing the right thing for you and for your kid.
He can still let him see his child, but that's as far as he can go as a parent.
Yes,
you see, but that's it. Anything else?
It's funny because he's not coming back to be in the kid's life. He's just coming back to be with her because
to mess around,
because he's in a messy situation.
Exactly.
So if you didn't lose your job or anything, that means you were not even coming back for your children.
That's why I said, man, better watch how you treat people sometimes.
Anyways, guys, let us know. Email us. Let us know
what's your thought? What do y'all think?
Thelma wants your feedback, so let us know what you think so we can pass it on to her. I know she's listening, but it's crazy. It's crazy when I heard the stories.
Thelma, kudos to you, girl,
for doing that.
Yeah,
doing that and hanging in there and sounding reasonable. Because you sound obviously frustrated, but not angry and bitter like some people were. So kudos to you, and caring for the kid first.
Right.
Yeah. So let's move into the next question. The next question is, what is the first thought when someone says they are a single mother or a single father? Winnie, I guess to us it's going to be single fathers. When someone says they are a single dad, what pops in your head? In the dating scene. To listen to Winnie and I continue with our questions and conversations regarding understanding single parenthood in Africa, please tune in next week. But if you have any comments or suggestions or anything you want to share regarding Thelma's story or about single parenthood, generally, you can email us on African Teapot, or you DM us on Instagram, or you check me out on Facebook. Let us know, and we would include all of your feedback as we air next week. Thank you for listening, and hope you join me for the next episode. You can always reach us via email at africanteapot@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at African_teapot.